Yeah, I just hate this guy I'm about to yap about. He's a degenerate streamer that no one really watches in the first place. His career is a bigger flop than the new Snow White movie, and apparently he's been banned numerous times from basically every streaming platform, but he keeps crawling his way back like the little roach that he is. And even though he's a public nuisance that's perpetually goober maxing, he doesn't even really have a community of people that follow him ironically. Typically, with a special specimen like this, there will be people that tune in just to watch all of the madness unfold and point and laugh at the guy. But he doesn't even have that because he is just so unbelievably lame. He's such a colossal loser that it's not even fun to watch him ruin his life. Like, you get more entertainment out of a knock-knock joke than tuning into this guy's streams. He's a pile of shit that not even mosquitoes will fly around, and there is an endless supply of things you can easily shoot spitballs at when it comes to this guy. But there's one in particular that I want to focus on, and the whole reason I'm making this. How often and how proudly he abuses his dog on stream.
Hey!
Okay, no.
Come here.
Stop.
Come here.
Don't fucking hit the dog.
That's my dog.
No, you don't fucking
That's
grab
my
her.
fucking dog. I do what the fuck I want
No,
with
you
my
don't
dog.
grab the
Don't
fucking
tell me
dog.
what I do when I'm on. Bro, this bitch is thinking she gave me a fucking...
Don't grab. Stop! Baby, stop! 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 What are you doing?
She knows because she knows she'll get hurt if she don't listen.
I imagine this brain-dead moron can't spell the word context, but I already know, in defense of this clip, he would try and point to the longer version for the full scoop, because you're only taking a snippet of it, it's out of context. Even though there's really no amount of context that justifies hitting your dog and making the dog yelp in pain, and then forcefully dragging it back into the room to throw onto your chair. But if you want the full version of this clip, which is also equally hard to watch and also still paints a very bad picture of this piece of shit, I'll go ahead and show you that too.
Come here.
It's okay.
Come here.
Peaches.
Come here, Peaches. Don't, bro, this bitch is thinking she gave me a fucking...
Don't grab. Stop! Baby, stop! 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 What are you doing?
This is my fucking dog. I don't give a fuck. Stay! Hey!
Stop!
Hey!
Stop!
Stay! This is my fucking dog. I don't give a fuck. You don't
Stop! Stop!
You're not
Stop!
taking. You're not
She's in
taking.
pain.
You're not taking my dog away from me. I don't give a fuck. You're not taking my fucking dog away from me.
She's in
The fuck?
pain.
Stay! Stay!
Stop!
You're not taking my fucking dog away from me. I don't give a fuck who you think you are.
The girl in the clip is trying to calm this raging dork down and try and remove the dog from a dangerous situation here from him. And he continues to fucking fee-fi-fo-fum his way around there and forcefully grabbing the dog and slamming it onto his chair, which again causes the dog to scream in pain and try and run away in terror from this menace. And I am pretty sure he tries to paint this as like a... oh, I just love my dog, and she was trying to separate me from my dog. This bitch is trying to take my dog. You won't take my dog away from me, my beloved pet that I cherish. Which is a bunch of dirty barnacles. He makes the dog cry multiple times here. The girl even points out, like, stop hitting the dog. And then at the end of that clip, he does, like, try and rub the dog's chest after he has slammed the dog onto that chair multiple times. He needs to have this dog removed from him. This is not fair to that animal at all.
That's so bad.
I'm literally gonna fucking kill this dog, bro.
This is not good.
You never come to you ever had sleep for 24 hours now, dumb bitch. Fuck it. Yeah, no. Staying there for the rest of her fucking life. She's staying there for the rest of her fucking life. Fuck all that. That bitch is staying there forever. Fuck that dog. I hope she fucking cries. I hope she fucking wants to commit suicide, that dumb bitch. I hope she jumps off the fucking balcony.
Okay, no.
Wow, yeah, you can really feel the love. Regular old John Wick here with the amount that he cares for this animal. What a sane human being this is. It's fucking unhinged, man. In so many clips, this girl is constantly trying to get him to stop hitting the dog and stop, like, being really mean to the dog and, like, locking it up and threatening it.
I will fucking kill you in front of everyone right here. I will fucking kill you. Right now, I will fucking kill you right in front of fucking everyone. I will fucking kill you. Alright? I will fucking kill you right here. I will break your fucking neck right here. Sit the fuck down. Dog, I'll literally kill this dog. I literally will kill this dog.
This is why this is her.
Fucking sit.
Just look at some of these messages in his chat from these loveless, dickless homunculi. They get so excited every time he starts to talk about killing his dog or when he starts hitting his dog. So like this first one, Peaches need to be strangled. That's his dog's name. Clearly not a service dog. Beat that dumb service dog up. Bad dumb dog. Like, what the fuck? He is addicted to talking to his dog like it's a League of Legends ranked game. Like, this kind of shit here he tries to downplay as, like, not being super serious, and the community tries to delude themselves into thinking that he's just trolling, but I think it's pretty clear he does mean these things. He actively hits his dog. I think it's pretty clear we have a lot of evidence to indicate that he means this vile shit that he's spouting about his dog. I am also very shocked that he even used that nomenclature, community, to describe what he has, because that's not what he has. He has like 4 people that tune in occasionally and make like one message in chat every 10 minutes. Like, you can see it for yourself. The proof is in the pudding. Somehow this brain-dead worm thought it'd be a good idea to post his dead chat on screen, and that shit is not moving. That's going at a glacial pace. You're seeing more activity on Yahoo Answers than you will in one of his streams, and Yahoo Answers has been shut down, buried in the dirt for like 9 years. I cannot believe that he even puts that up there on his own accord. So he doesn't really have a viewer base or anything like that. But it doesn't matter. I couldn't help but talk about this guy because this is just infuriating. And I haven't seen another streamer so proudly just abuse their pet on stream like this. It's craziness.
Give it up. Give it up.
She is a pillhead and a borderline personality cunt. She is like only use me Blades X. Next. Dealing. She is bad
If
news.
you don't shut up, if you don't shut your mouth, okay? If you don't shut your mouth, it's gonna be bad. If you don't shut your mouth, it's gonna be bad. Shut the fuck up. Shut up.
This isn't all of them, but I don't think there's any need to show you more. This kind of thing is just heartbreaking. That dog seems like such a sweetheart that does not deserve to have an owner like this. No dog does. This shit is just so foul. Like, and another thing he'll do is he'll hit the dog really hard. He'll hit Peaches hard as fuck, and then very lightly, like in that first clip where he was sleeping. In fact, most of the clips you can find of this guy are sleeping on stream. That's like the main thing he does, is just fucking hibernate and hope people will donate while he's asleep. But anyway, you saw him lean over and just clobber Peaches on the snout, and then lightly tap Peaches on the head. And then he even had the gall to make a gesture up here to try and invite Peaches to come sleep on his chest. It's crazy how often and how proudly he does this shit, and even more crazy that there's like 6 or 7 weirdos that'll watch and cheer him on, encouraging the behavior. And I imagine that's a big motivator for this guy. He'll just bring Peaches on stream, threaten to kill the dog, and hit the dog quite a bit, and get some cheers and applause from these absolute fucking vermin that are watching him. But like I said, most of his clips that you'll find are him sleeping. That seems to be like the bulk of what he does, is just go to sleep while filming it. But his most popular clip isn't from his snoozing streams. It's actually from him threatening to shoot some kids. Like inviting them out so he can shoot them.
Where are you from? What's the
I'm
background?
from Toronto, kid. Pull up. Pull up. Your little ass gun that you never shot in your life. Show me the bullet.
No, man.
Exactly, you fucking fake ass gun, boy. Yeah, come pull up, boy. Come pull up.
Alright, let's
Please
fucking
come to
do
Toronto,
this,
pussy
mate.
boy.
Let's fucking do this.
Please,
I'm gonna
please come to
fucking bring my
Toronto.
fucking
Please come to
family,
Toronto.
man.
Please come to Toronto, pussy boy.
Big
Come to
3
Toronto.
okay though, on or no.
Okay, yeah, really come to Toronto now. Really come to Toronto, pussy boy. Don't remember, I'll see you around, kid, and I'm gonna fucking light you up in them hollows. I swear to God I will.
Show me.
I'm my mom's life, and I ain't a federal little boy. I'm streaming right now, pussy boy. Yeah, come to Toronto. Record this, bitch, boy. Record this, pussy boy.
Oh yeah.
That can record like a good little bitch. Record like a good little bitch.
Incredible stuff. Riveting, really. I don't know the whole lore here of everything that happened. That seems like some real degenerate shit across the board. But I will say, that insult of like, record like a good little bitch, that falls really flat when you yourself are also recording. Brother, you're streaming it. That's 2 sides of the same coin. In fact, that's a step above recording it. Not exactly the optimal insult there. You kind of took some self-sustained damage on that one too. You hurt yourself in the confusion there as well, since that also included you. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about this guy because I just can't fucking stand him. I think that this is completely unacceptable behavior to just be abusing your dog on stream. I think that shit super sucks. That's about it. See ya. The wacky wild world of TikTok live streaming is a fascinating beast. It is a demon. One of the biggest types of streams on TikTok, at least as I understand it, is begging streams, where people just go live and just beg for money. Like, please donate a galaxy right now. If you don't donate a galaxy right now, I'm gonna put my corgi in a headlock until it passes out to save my corgi's life with galaxies. Not quite to that level. I'm exaggerating, but it's just basically things of people saying, I need this money, please give me this money, I want this money, give me this money, and then of course the old-fashioned NPC streams that were the trend for a while, like, ooh, popcorn so yummy, roses, that kind of thing. It is still very popular, it is still very degenerate, and today Matt sent me a clip of a TikTok begging streamer who was spinning this tall tale of fibs about his living situation at home being so bad, and he's crying on stream, asking all of his followers to just give him some money so he can get out from his mom's clutches. And then his mom comes in, and it paints a very different picture about what's actually going on here.
Just trying to make money in general. To be able to go, Mackenzie, hate you. No, get out. Now.
I just got a phone call. I just got a phone call from somebody, said you was in your room, you was on TikTok, and you said you had to get out by tomorrow.
Go. Out. Go. Go.
Said you was in
Out.
your room crying.
Out. Go.
I have not told you.
I just told you to go. Mama, go.
I told you.
Go.
Jeepers! Uh-oh, zoinks! Barbecue chicken alert! Barbecue chicken alert! It looks like we got a huge fucking liar on our hands here. Who could have seen this coming? It seems as though this is all phony baloney horseradish here. It's looking like it's all fake. It's all make-believe here, like Santa Claus. It seems like these tears might be performative. It doesn't seem as though he's actually in a dire situation with a wretched bitch of a mother who's one day away from kicking his ass out onto the street in the rain and cold unless all the people on TikTok start giving him some doubloons. Seems like it all could have just been fake here to scam people on TikTok, if you can believe it. I know, a crazy notion, a wild accusation, but I think there's a lot of evidence to support the claim. I also gotta say, his acting here is lackluster. This is pitiful. It's very clear he is an amateur. He did not attend the prestigious academy of Charles White's School for Method Acting, because if he was trained under my techniques, such as what I displayed in the Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1, he'd be having snot all over the place and there'd be poop in his pants. It would be the most convincing crying/begging you'd ever seen in your life. And this is just not that. This is very rookie crying tears. This is something you'd see in like a first-year thespian troupe in the fucking drama club. Terrible, terrible acting. My heart breaks for his mother here. She comes in after learning that her son is now crying on TikTok, begging for money, using her as the villain, and how, like, she's so evil, this and that, and now he's crying, inconsolable. Well, not inconsolable, you can console him with money. In fact, that's the only way to heal his broken heart. And she learns this information, and she comes into his room, not aggressively or anything, she comes in very confused, wondering why. She's talking about how he never said that, like, she wasn't threatening to kick him out or anything, where is this coming from? She looks devastated to see her son doing this and saying these things about her. She doesn't raise her voice. She doesn't even seem like infuriated or mad. She just seems really saddened by it, like very upset that this is what her son is doing and what her son is saying about her. And it's clear he knows that his goose just got cooked, because he immediately, the tears dry up instantly. It's a miracle. He immediately snaps to it and starts to panic, telling her to get out. Being very callous, being very rude to her, telling her get out and even pushing her out, like shoving her out the door so he can continue to go back to his begging stream here. And you can see in the chat, people are immediately alerted that this is fake. But since it's TikTok, there are some people whose brains are so poisoned, they are so far gone that I don't even think they're sentient anymore. They're hardly lucid. So there are people that are donating money to him even while he is pushing his mother out, even after he has been fully caught with his pants down here in this lie, in this performative fake cry begging stream for money. There are still people showering him with money. That is pathetic. I think those people are more pathetic than he is, actually. That is crazy to me. How someone would see this and still give him money. Like, I don't understand. What must be wrong in your life? What must have disconnected? Like, how many neurons must you have wasted away with fucking whippets or something to somehow watch this live under your nose in front of your own peepers and still be like, oh my god, I need to give this guy some money. He deserves some money. Look at his mother. His mother came into his room without even knocking. She didn't even knock. Oh my god, it's even worse than I thought. Here, quick, take a galaxy. Take 20 roses and a fucking dumbbell and some bubblegum. It's just preposterous. Now, I tried to look more into this guy to see, well, what happened next. Apparently, this is a pretty old clip. I can't actually find the genesis of it. It's only just now, like, blowing up, but apparently this happened a while ago. And it was not, like, blown up or anything, so, like, that stream may have, tanked, went straight into the shithole there for him. But it didn't matter because he was able to just keep doing it, apparently, because the people in his audience, maybe they missed the stream. And I guess within, like, a couple days, it had just fizzled out, and the people that watch him didn't really give a shit anymore. I don't know if he went back to doing more begging streams. My guess would be that he probably did, because on TikTok, people, they don't even remember what they ate for breakfast. Like, within a day or two, he had already apparently been totally fine. Like, his audience, it's not like they were upset at him anymore. Like, he could just go back to doing begging streams, fake crying for money on TikTok lives. Something that I remember being pretty common on TikTok Live is people just looping the same streams over and over and over again, used forever. So even though it's not, like, technically live or anything, you just keep spamming that stream, hoping to collect some cash passively. He could do the same thing with the begging stream. He could even use that same stream all the way up until his mother opens that door. Like, he doesn't... It didn't matter, is what I'm trying to say. On TikTok, he can just continue to do these begging streams till the fucking cows come home. And it is a very popular branch of content on TikTok. And maybe someone finds that stream that don't know that he's making it all up and it's all fake. So then they just get scammed out of this money here. These are always particularly disgusting because you are exploiting people's willingness to be kind and help. Like, these are people that are seeing him cry, hear about a situation that is clearly made up now in hindsight, like it's not real, but they don't know that in the moment and they want to try and extend a hand to help him, to help someone that they believe is in need. So they're exploiting that generosity. It's just gross. It's just super gross. And I looked at his current account. I don't think it's the same account that he was doing the begging streams on. I think he probably did make a new one here. And basically the only thing he posts about now are his truck and his girlfriend. I don't know if he still does the begging streams, but looking at his recent content, it's like a lot of videos of his truck and how much he loves that truck, and also his girlfriend, and how if anyone, touches his girlfriend, they'll have to deal with the demon inside of him, that kind of thing. So maybe he stopped doing begging streams, I couldn't tell you. But this shit is just so unbelievably cringe. Anyway, just wanted to yap about it a little bit. I feel really sorry for his mother. I really do. She looked very, very sad to see what he was saying, to learn about what was going on there. Anyway, though, that's really about it. So, yep. What an unbelievably crazy week on Kick. I was just talking about the French streamer Jean Parmenov, who passed away in his sleep on stream after a marathon of abuse from some other streamers. And just now, I literally just finished streaming Resident Evil 6, and I was taking a little tinkle, and I got sent a little something that is so diabolical, I had to hop back in the saddle and yap about it. It is incomprehensible that yet another potential death was just streamed on Kick. I'm recording this an hour after it happened, and the victim is currently still in the ICU, so I guess by the time I post this, I'll know whether or not they passed away, but I'm going to keep this part in here right now because it's up in the air. A Kick streamer, Raja Jackson, who is the son of Rampage Jackson, and also a professional fighter, just went fucking ballistic on a wrestler during a wrestling event on stream. He picks the wrestler up, slams him on the mat, and then lays down 27 punches to the man's skull, most of which were delivered while he was unconscious. And by the end of it, he is bleeding and bloodied. They couldn't wake him up. They said he was barely breathing, and someone even used the word flatline, that he was flatlined in the ring. This is not fake. This is not scripted. I did my best to censor this. It is brutal. It is extremely hard to watch. I also cut the clip short, but they pan back and he is covered in blood. Raja Jackson is a professional fighter who has unloaded, I counted 27 blows to an unconscious man. And they all are connecting. This is not like fake. It's not like he's pulling any of his punches. They are all hitting squarely on this man's skull, bouncing his head off of the mat. And I said most of them were when he was unconscious. All of them are while he's unconscious. When I watched it back, it's clear that when he slammed him on the mat, his head hit the mat and it knocked him out immediately. So all 27, potentially more, punches that he threw were on an unconscious man. That can be fatal. That is most oftentimes fatal. And he wasn't done either. It's not like he just stopped and said, okay, well, that's plenty. I've had my fill. He was still going. The only reason there weren't more punches thrown by him is because the other wrestlers were able to separate him. But he was fighting against them to go back and keep beating this unconscious man. He probably wouldn't have stopped punching him until his head popped like a balloon. It's extremely scary, and even if he does pull through, this could have life-changing repercussions with brain damage and so many other complications for the rest of his life, if he even survives, which we don't know yet. He apparently flatlined in the ring and is currently still in the ICU, and we don't have any updates. This is terrifying stuff. Hello, it's Charles, first thing in the morning here, and we don't have a ton of official updates on the condition of that wrestler, but the father of Raja Jackson, Rampage Jackson, gave an update where he is saying that Psycho Stu, that's the name of the wrestler, is alive and is stable. And he also says that he's clearing up misinformation about his son. But then in his statement, he doesn't clear up any misinformation. He just confirms what everyone already knows, that this was completely out of control, inexcusable behavior that Rampage Jackson also doesn't condone. So I don't know what misinformation he thinks he's clearing up with this. He's just agreeing with what everyone else is saying, that his son went fucking berserk. I guess maybe the misinformation demon that he was exercising here was about his son actually getting like the permission for payback on Psycho Stu for an earlier confrontation. And what he's referring to there is they had like a little beef before the event started, and someone had told Raja Jackson that he could like double leg take down Psycho Stu in the ring and then throw like a fake punch, and that would be it, to like settle the beef and create like this storyline. But Raja Jackson on stream, on camera, says that he is going to hurt Psycho Stu. He said he will not stop punching him until people will yank him off of him. So he took that like pseudo invite, like green light to be involved in the wrestling event, as a permission slip to go brutally assault this man and beat him within an inch of his life. Like, I think you could also make a case that this is attempted murder. This was premeditated assault that he planned on not stopping at any point until third parties intervened. Like, I really think you could make like a real argument that he had went in there with the full intentions of killing Psycho Stu. That's what it looks like to me.
Tell you guys this, they told me to hit him and just leave. Somebody who pull me off of him will leave. I'm telling you, I'm gonna hit him as many times as I can. Watch.
That's indefensible. You can see him literally planning it off the back of them giving him like the instructions for a work where he'd come in and he'd deliver like a hit, like a fake hit, and then he'd be pulled off and that'd be the end of it. And he is saying, but watch this, I'm going to keep punching him. Like, he is blatantly stating this. It is very clearly a premeditated assault. And like I said, I really think his goal was to kill Psycho Stu there. It really seems like that was his mission. And you can't chalk this up to confusion where he was directed to do something but then just went a little far, like, mistakenly. He is, with his own voice, his own vocal folds flapping with their own volition here. He is stating, they told me to do this, but instead, I'm going to do this. I'm going to punch him as many times as I possibly can. He is stating clearly that they told him one thing, and he is not doing that. Instead, he is going to punch the shit out of him, beat him within an inch of his life. You can't possibly say that he just got confused with the stage directions here of the storyline. He is saying that he is going to go punch him as many times as possible and disregard what they said he is permitted to do, like what they planned on. It is premeditated assault by every possible definition. Now, what started all of this, and I've seen people joking about it like, oh, haha, Raja Jackson must not know that wrestling is fake, and he thought the heel was being mean to his favorite babyface, so he took matters into his own hands, tee-hee-hee. But what actually happened is Raja Jackson was touring the event and meeting the wrestlers backstage, and of course the wrestlers are all playing characters, and when it comes to wrestling, there's a little something called kayfabe, and so they are going to portray their character to the best of their ability and keep everything as authentic and genuine as possible. And Psycho Stu was in character and misunderstood that Raja Jackson was not a worker in the event.
Worry about him. You need to be worried about Psycho Stu.
Psycho Stu?
What, you don't know me?
Hell no. Yeah.
Hey, I think that's a little.
Oh, you don't know it?
Easy. He's not a fucking worker, bro. Calm down.
Yeah, what the fuck was that?
You're good.
What the fuck was that?
You don't sell it?
Dude, he's not a fucking
Bro.
worker, bro.
What the fuck was that? Hold on. I don't play that shit, bro.
Oh, sorry about
Nah,
that.
I will fuck him
we're
up,
good.
bro.
I know you will.
Nah.
We're good.
And he takes it way too far when he takes a beer can. I don't know if it's like a real beer can or like one of those breakaway like stunt ones, but he takes it and he crushes it on Raja Jackson's head. Then you can see him get really fired up about it, and all the other wrestlers are also saying to Psycho Stu, like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? He's not like a worker here or anything. That was too far. And that's what started this. And then Raja Jackson waited until their match. Then he stormed in and then beat him potentially to death for it. Now, I think if Raja Jackson had swung on Psycho Stu after the beer can thing, you could definitely make a strong case that he was acting in self-defense. Because that is unexpected, it was unprovoked, and it was kind of a crazy thing for Psycho Stu to do, not knowing for sure if Raja Jackson was a worker in the event or not. It was a bad judgment call for sure from Stu. And he was just like way too fucking committed to being the heel. Like he was really deep into his method acting like fucking Shia LaBeouf style, and he did the beer can thing, and it was definitely over the line. But here's something a lot of people aren't showing enough of, that Psycho Stu was very apologetic when he learned that Raja Jackson was not a worker at the event. He apologized 3 times. They shook hands multiple times, and Raja said, like, hey, it's good, I get it. Multiple times. Meanwhile, he was just like bubbling with anger, waiting for his chance to fucking assault this man.
Fucking seal that.
I'm
sorry, bro.
Hey, it's gonna all work out.
Yeah, hello. I appreciate it.
I didn't know. I thought you were
Camera. I get it.
We're working out. Well, he's gonna come out on your mat, Juice. I know you keep thinking we're working. We're always working.
I get it. Yeah. I get it now. Now you
You know what I'm saying, Oz? We're always working.
What a fucking worm. This is some slimy behavior here. This is some turbo ass. Raja Jackson is now pretending that he understands and forgives Psycho Stu, who is very apologetic, mind you, and he's explaining, like, look, I saw the cameras, I thought that this was like another work, that we were building a storyline, this and that, and Raja Jackson's like, no, I get it, and he's like shaking his hand and everything. Meanwhile, he is actively planning of assaulting this man, beating him unconscious and fucking leaving him eating meals through a straw, as he is like pretending to let bygones be bygones here and that they're on good terms. That's fucking unhinged. Now, before showing you some more of the aftermath here, let me introduce you to Psycho Stu. I think you should get a little bit of the lore behind this wrestler that Raja Jackson beat so severely, hospitalizing in the ICU and apparently caused to flatline in the ring.
Pro in 2009. I had just got out of the military, probably about 6 months earlier. I got out of the military, I joined Knox Pro, because I needed something to focus on. I needed something to help me adjust back into civilian life. A lot of veterans, it's hard for them to readjust into civilian life coming from the life of the military. I'm an American soldier that suffers from PTSD. Being in front of a crowd, it doesn't give me as much anxiety and aggression as I thought it would.
Yeah. Psycho Stu is a veteran who was suffering from PTSD and found wrestling as a means of escapism and fell in love with the sport. And now is currently hospitalized in the ICU, but apparently is stable, so hopefully Rampage Jackson is accurate with that claim that he is alive and stable. That would be wonderful news. But what an unbelievable set of circumstances that led to his hospitalization here. Yes, he made a mistake with Rampage Jackson's son here, not knowing whether or not he was a worker and still building the storyline anyway under the impression he was. But it's not a mistake that should have led to something like this, especially when he did everything in his power to try and rectify it and try and apologize for his mistake and explain why it happened and ensure that it was totally unintentional and there wasn't meant to be any bad blood or anything. And he thought that he did accomplish that, but clearly Raja Jackson didn't actually think so. He was just acting. Raja Jackson was flexing his thespian skills here when he was pretending that everything was okay between those two, because what he was actually doing was plotting a premeditated assault on Psycho Stu. Again, that potential argument of self-defense, that has poofed away like Timmy Turner's fairy godparents. That ship sailed a long time ago because he didn't act in response to the threat. Like, after the beer can was crushed on his head, which, again, he wasn't expecting, and that can be dangerous, but he didn't, act in the heat of the moment to defend himself from that or anything. Instead, he let it marinate, let his rage bubble up, and then waited for his opportunity to get revenge later. There is no longer a possible case of self-defense here. Yes, he was wronged, but he didn't, try and defend himself from that threat or anything. He pretended to, move on from it with the guy who did it, and then waited to attack him later. And I think you can make a very strong case that it was attempted murder. At the very least, it is a premeditated assault, and based on the things he was saying leading up to it, and based on the behavior in the ring when he was delivering 27-ish blows to an unconscious man's skull, I really think there is a strong argument to be made that he was in there doing that solely to try and kill him. All of this on stream, mind you, and you can even see him respond to the news that the guy that he just unloaded 27 punches on in the ring while he was unconscious is potentially flatlined.
Hello?
Hey, where the hell you at? I told you to double leg that motherfucker and start welding him. I just saw the video.
Shit pissed me off though, Andre.
I understand that, but now they can't wake the nigga up. He's fucking in the ring, fucking flatline, bro.
My bad.
You didn't have to do all that shit. I understand y'all had heat. You didn't have to fucking take it there.
I'll call you back later.
This guy does not seem to care at all. This is a fucking monster right here. In response to hearing that the guy flatlined, he just says, "My bad." That's crazy. Kratos had more empathy for the people that he killed in very similar fashion, by the way, with the unbelievable amount of blows to the head. But at least in Kratos' case, the people he was fighting, they were at least conscious. All of these were delivered to an unconscious man. A man who never even saw this coming, by the way, because he storms into the ring, grabs him, and then slams him. So it wasn't even a fight. But he walks away feeling so fucking tough and accomplished about it with no remorse at all for potentially killing this man.
Tired of motherfuckers playing with me, bro. Real shit. One of them a bitch and fucking bit me. I'm tired of everybody fucking playing with me and shit. Think I'm always playing and shit. Call me bitch and shit. Not no fucking bitch, bro. At the end of the day, I'ma stand up for my fucking self. Because I'm tired of everybody fucking playing with me, bro. Real shit.
He's walking away from this with his chin held high, extremely proud of what's unfolded here. It seems like this might be the happiest moment of his life. The way that he is perceiving this is him standing up for himself. He is not able to have a grasp on the severity of what just happened here. He thinks that because the disrespect that he encountered earlier in the day, he was entirely justified to potentially murder this man. And by the way, the wrestlers that were calling him a bitch, well, I imagine they were saying that because he basically sucker punched this guy potentially to death. The guy never even had a chance to fight back because he came into the ring when his back was turned, slammed him down, immediately knocking him unconscious. It wasn't even a fight, it was a surprise attack. So I imagine that's what he's referencing when it comes to the wrestlers like insulting him and the one that bit him, with everyone that was like getting on top of Raja to get him away from Psycho Stu on the ground, because he was still going back to try and make sure he was dead, it seems. Now, in the rest of the clip here, one of the wrestlers from the event starts walking towards them, talking to them, trying to get them to stay, probably until police get there would be my guess. But he is talking to them and he is shit-talking, trying to goad him into staying. And he's like talking about like, I'll fight you right now. And then it's a back and forth. But Raja Jackson reiterates that he wants to fight more of them there. He wants to continue to beat people within an inch of their life there. It's scary. I cannot imagine a world where he does not go to jail for this. I really can't. Rampage Jackson has tons and tons of money, sure, but I don't know if he's going to be able to outspend the attempted murder charges that his son just racked up here. Now, of course, I'm not a lawyer and I don't have like a magic crystal ball that I can ponder the orb of to see the future, but my guess would be that there will be attempted murder charges for this incident. Because, I mean, I really think it's like... It feels like that's what the goal here was when Raja Jackson was delivering these blows. I mean, I think at bare minimum, you're getting some serious assault charges. Like, no matter what, I think he should be thrown in the slammer for this. This behavior is completely unacceptable. He knew exactly what he was doing. He even on-stream states what he's about to do. And he clearly doesn't stop until he is pulled off and then still wants to keep going. All of these blows delivered to an unconscious man. How could you possibly say this is anything other than him trying to kill him? It's fucking sickening. Now, like I said at the start of the video, I've recorded all of this pretty much immediately after it happened, so we still don't know how Psycho Stu is doing, if he's going to pull through from all of this or not. But by the time I post this video, I imagine we'll have some kind of update, so I'll go ahead and put that at the beginning of the video. But as of right now, fingers crossed that he pulls through. Like, yeah, he definitely did make a big mistake with the beer can thing, but I don't think it's something that should have cost him his life here in this manner. This shit is unhinged. Anyway, that's really about it. See ya. Yeah, this is just downright evil. A French streamer named Jean Parmenov, real name Raphael Gravin, has passed away in his sleep on stream after this marathon stream that he was a part of, where his friends, and I wouldn't call them friends, they are like actual demons, basically just abused him, beat him, fundamentally tortured him, made him consume dangerous things, and then he went to sleep and died in his sleep. He was 46 years old, and the exact cause of death is currently being investigated. Jean Parmenov was mainly a gamer, and then over time grew a big following and started doing like more IRL streams, and from what I can gather, more like extreme challenges. But what happened during this marathon stream where he ultimately passed away was something that he was not a full willing participant of, as evidenced by what he would say during streams, as well as a text message he sent to his mother just days before his death. He allegedly sent this to his mom shortly before he passed. "Hey mom, how are you? I'm sick of this game. It's gone way too far. I feel like I'm being held hostage by their awful concept. I'm exhausted. I want to leave, but the other guy won't let me. He's holding me hostage." The other streamers involved here are trying to claim they had nothing to do with it, and then even posted some very heartfelt messages about his passing and how much he meant to them. But if you watch any of the footage, and I don't know what I can and can't show you here because it is actually torturing this guy, and then he eventually dies. Like, if you just watch that, it's very clear this isn't a man they respected. This is someone they treated like a human punching bag.
On t'écoute.
Ouais, ça va. J'ai jamais bougé vraiment. Vraiment. T'inquiète pas. Je relâche. Allez, arrête, tu vas mourir. Arrête, ça fait Arrête. Oui, oui. Ah, il me prend, putain. Arrête, il va mourir. Arrête, il va mourir.
I've seen a few news sources showing these clips, so I'm assuming that these are okay to show. Not that any of it is okay, it only gets worse from here. But as far as what they did to this man and the abuse that he endured, this is like the lowest level of it. Not that there's a such thing as diet torture, there's no such thing as like a tasteful amount of torture, but as far as like clips I can show you of just how awful it was, this is, I think, the limit of what I'm allowed to show. It is shocking that it went on for so long. Like, this was not just like a one-time thing, this was a recurrent gag on their streams where they bring Jean in and then they all just turn into like the toddlers from Weapons and start like ripping at him, beating him, insulting him. Like they really treat him like their prisoner, like a dog's chew toy or something. It is foul. And they have the audacity to claim that they did nothing and that they are blameless in this death. Like, oh, it was just such an unexpected tragedy that he passed away. No one could have seen it coming. I think any sensible person will look at all of the evidence that they themselves filmed on stream and be able to say with high level of confidence that they definitely had a hand in his untimely death. Two of the streamers directly involved in this have made statements where they're trying to put on this facade of grief, but I don't buy it at all. The first comes from Naruto, which is a wild name for a piece of shit like this to have. It's been a while since I've seen the show, but I don't recall Naruto ever being a huge advocate for torturing innocent people. Anyway, his statement says, "I've always dreaded writing these words. Sadly, last night, JP, Raphael Gravin, left us. My brother, my sidekick, my partner, 6 years, side by side, never letting go. I love you, my brother. We will miss you terribly. Please respect his memory and don't share the video of his final moments. For his family and for us, his second family, rest in peace." A bunch of words there, and I don't believe any of them. All of these words are once again more meaningless than mahujanize, and that's a word that I completely made up. This is hollow when you look at how they treated this guy for so long. It wasn't just the physical abuse that Jean Parmenov, Raphael Gravin, endured. It was the mental abuse. They would all, like, from what I can tell, they were even doing their best to, like, keep him from sleeping. They were, like, strangling him as well, which, of course, is physical, too. But, like, there was significantly more than just the physical stuff they were doing to him to mistreat him and abuse him and dehumanize him. It was terrible. It was truly terrible. Like, obviously, I'm not going to show any more from the stream, but do you want to know how they went to check if he was still alive? Well, when they thought something might be a bit awry, they threw a bottle at him. They just threw a bottle at his body, and then they went over and started slapping him to try and see if he'd wake up, but he was still unresponsive. So that's when it dawned on them that he had died in his sleep, on stream, right next to all of them. There is nothing that I have seen here that leads me to believe they genuinely cared about this guy. I think it's very clear Raphael Gravin very much cared about them and wanted to be their friend, and to me it seems like they exploited that. They manipulated him into being the butt of the joke for these humiliation streams. That's what these were. They were humiliation streams that they roped Raphael Gravin into agreeing to, and it seems like they were just dangling this carrot of friendship in front of him. And like all of the attention that it was gathering, it seems like they were holding over his head like, oh man, we need you here, JP. We need to, mistreat you on stream, but just know we love you. This is all part of, the joke here for the audience. We're all in on it. We're not laughing at you. We're laughing with you. That's what it seems like to me from everything I have seen here. And this has gone on for a really long time. It really seems like at no point did they actually respect JP or treat him like a friend. He was simply the catalyst for their humiliation streams. Because of him, they were able to get a lot more eyeballs and make a lot more money off humiliating and abusing this guy that they never actually really viewed as a friend. That's what it looks like to me. Now, all of this was broadcast on Kick, and it went on for a long time. Not only this 10-day marathon, but a lot of the other abuse that happened prior also broadcast on Kick, and at no point were they ever, like, reprimanded or shut down, according to sources. So a lot of attention is now turning towards Kick about, like, how they handle illegal shit like this. So our priority is to protect creators and ensure a safer environment on Kick. All co-streamers who participated in this live broadcast have been banned pending the ongoing investigation. So they didn't ban until after JP's death. Now, this kind of thing has happened on Twitch before. This isn't exclusive to just Kick. This has happened on YouTube streaming before as well. There was a streamer a while back on YouTube who literally murdered his girlfriend on stream. This is unfortunately something that has happened on other streaming platforms, and I understand that it can oftentimes be hard for a company to proactively get involved and stop something from happening before it happens, preventing a tragedy. You know, this isn't fucking Minority Report here with Tom Cruise able to, like, see the future or some shit. Like, they couldn't prevent it in some of those cases, but this one's a little different because a big source of their content was mistreating JP on stream. Strangling him, beating him. Like, that was a big piece of their content for a while, even before, like, all of this blew up and he passed away. Like, I feel like at some point Kick could have absolutely been alerted to that and taken action. And Kick does have a history of letting criminal activity fly unpunished for a while. There is a streamer that I have talked about numerous times who has literally fucked a prostitute on stream on Kick in front of a child on stream and still was never banned for that. And that wasn't even the first time that he fucked a prostitute on stream. But that was the first time he did that while a child was literally in the room while he had sex with that prostitute. Still, never banned. Kick has been very loosey-goosey with their enforcement of their own policies, where they will let criminal activity fly for way too long. So that is something I think they really need to get under control. Kick has been growing a lot recently, and I think if it wants to continue to grow, it needs to take shit like this far more seriously. Like, before something like this happens. I feel like day one of JP being abused during this 10-day marathon, Kick could have come in and just put the kibosh on it. I'm not saying that would have saved his life or anything like that. Of course, there's no way to know. But if Kick would just be a little more mindful of trying to prevent illegal activities from being broadcast on there, it'd be really helpful, not only to the platform, but to people like JP, where if his friends weren't receiving such monetary incentive to keep humiliating and abusing him, like if they had been banned by Kick, well, maybe they would have stopped. But when they get to do an entire 10-day marathon of a bulk of the content revolving around, like, fundamentally torturing this guy, well, then it seems like they got the green light to keep doing it, and they made a lot of money doing it too. And I already know the defense that a lot of people will use here about Kick has grown a lot, so there's a lot of buns in the oven. They can't keep track of every stream every single time. And I recognize that to a certain extent, but this was a big stream for them. Like, this is something that I think would have been on their radar in some capacity, and given Kick's history of just letting, like, really degenerate and illegal shit fly for a while, I think there's a chance they knew about this, but just were letting it ride because it was a big stream, and they don't want to be viewed as the platform that's like Weenie Hut Jr., where they'll, like, ban people willy-nilly. Which, again, I get, but when it comes to, like, torture and illegal shit, there is nothing wrong with stepping in and banning those accounts. In fact, I would argue it's very beneficial for your platform to do that, so that way the perception of Kick as a whole isn't like a lawless wasteland where criminals go to broadcast illegal shit. And it seems like the user base would like Kick to do more in cases like this. Aiden Ross made a statement where he mentioned that him and Drake are going to be covering the funeral costs for Raphael Gravin, which I think is a very nice gesture. And from what I can tell, it seems like Aiden agrees that Kick needs to do more in cases like this to stop the illegal content from being broadcast on that platform. It seems like it's something the users agree needs to have more action taken on, like stopping illegal broadcasts of crime on Kick. Now, to go back to the actual individuals involved in the abuse of Parmenov, one of the lawyers for them has come forward and said that the victim had cardiovascular problems and that the violence in the videos was acted. All of those scenes are just staged. They follow a script, he said. Actually going back to the classic, it's all just acting. A pretty interesting defense tactic here. I wonder if the text message Raphael Gravin sent to his mother agrees that it was all a script and that it was just acting. That must have been part of it. It was one hell of a script here. This is up there with some of Nolan's best scripts. This is crazy. To claim that the violence was staged and just acted. No, the fuck it was not. You can watch it yourself and see that is not the case. Like, they're trying to pull that meme of Patrick Stewart going to sleep and then saying, wasn't sleeping, just acting, and use it to try and excuse the hand that their clients may have had in the death of a 46-year-old innocent man on stream. It's, again, you can watch the clips yourself. It's pretty infuriating. It's hard to watch, but you can. And it's very clear this was not some script, and that this was not just acting. This is real terror and real abuse that this man suffered at the hands of people he thought were his friends. Now, I do know that there are a couple of clips where Raphael Gravin was playing along with it to a certain degree, where he would kind of lean into like the humiliation / abuse for the sake of like the stream. There are a couple moments of that, but it's very rare. The majority of the majority of it is them like just lashing out and like attacking him or making him do things against his will, and it's not scripted. Very clearly not scripted or fully agreed upon. So I think that is a very weak defense. I guess we'll see if the French courts agree, but I really think you can say with high confidence that this stream and these streamers did play a role in what ultimately happened to Raphael Gravin. They may not have directly killed him or anything like that, but I do think everything they put him through for such an extended period of time had a real role to play in what happened. It's sickening. This stream was hard to watch the clips from. It was brutal. Anyway, I had to talk about it a little bit. It's just so fucking crazy. That's really about it. See ya. Yesterday I talked about a streamer who passed away while on stream. His name was Raphael Gravin, known online as Jean Parmenov. He was a French streamer who was once a gamer, then started doing more IRL content and teamed up with some real degenerates that mistreated him and abused him for a very long time. And then they did a 10-day marathon with Jean Parmenov, where they strangled him, beat him, humiliated him, some truly evil shit, and he unfortunately passed away while sleeping on that stream. You can see all of this. It's very, very hard to watch. I looked into this super deeply. Jean Parmenov was an individual who went through a lot of struggle, and he was a vulnerable person, and from what I can tell, this group with Naruto and Safane, these are big French streamers, they exploited his desire to be accepted by pretending to be his friend. And what they wanted for Jean as their friend was to let them beat the fuck out of him and treat him like garbage, dehumanize him, abuse him physically and mentally, and put him through torture on stream for their content, because it was very popular content. It was all broadcast on Kick, and I speculated yesterday that Kick probably knew about it. Turns out they 100% knew about it, and Kick France would even make tweets about Jean Parmenov and the torture he was enduring. They were fully aware of what was happening. They even used him to push their merch. So Kick France, it's not like they can just try and make the claim, this flew under our radar. If only we had known, we would have swooped in like fucking Batman and saved Gotham City from this degeneracy. They knew. They even were an active participant in encouraging it, clearly. So they can't just play like the blissful ignorance card on it. Now, from what I read, that Kick Twitter account that was posting about it was run by a French agency, so maybe like Kick's staff didn't particularly know, but I find that kind of hard to believe that you would just let this agency have free reign and that never ever reports back to Kick itself. So I'm very confident they were aware of what was happening, but since these streams were so popular, they were big. Like, I knew they were very successful, but I didn't know how big they were. These were huge streams. And since they were so huge, I think they were hesitant to shut it down, and given Kick's history of just letting illegal activity go unpunished for a really long time, I think it's pretty safe to say that they saw the amount of eyeballs this was bringing, and they just let it ride. They didn't care that Jean Parmenov was literally being fucking abused on their platform because it was getting some big time peepers on the platform. And I think that needs to change ASAP for Kick. This is a platform that's growing a lot, and as I've said this a lot, I think it's a good thing if Kick continues to be successful. Competition in the streaming space is crucial, but the way that they handle their own rules is laughable. It's just as bad as the way Twitch handles their rules. Kick is not shutting down illegal activity on their platform, and they need to. Again, I'm not saying had they shut down this marathon of abuse stream, it would have saved Jean Parmenov's life. There's no way of knowing that. But at the very least, you would have set the tone that abusing and fundamentally torturing a human being on your platform is not welcome, which I think is a good stance to take. And it seems like it's something that a lot of the streamers on Kick would also like Kick to step up and do. Again, I mentioned this yesterday as another example. There is a streamer who is still actively streaming on Kick, as of me making this right now, is literally live, who has fucked multiple prostitutes on stream, and includes one time where he fucked a prostitute on stream with a child in the room while he did it on stream, and that guy is still not banned. Kick needs to start actually taking crimes seriously, which I can't believe is something that even needs to be said. But anyway, I'm not going to rant about that any longer. The big update to today's story is a French investigation has concluded that Jean Parmenov's death was not the result of any foul play. According to a public prosecutor, there was a post-mortem conducted and he was found to have not been killed by trauma or a third party. The probable causes of death appear to be medical and/or toxicological. This is from Damien Martinelli, saying that further tests had been ordered, but ultimately they're concluding that this was not the result of all of the abuse and mistreatment that he endured for so long from these streamers that were beating him and strangling him and torturing him. 2 forensic doctors found no internal or external traumatic injuries or burns, only a few bruises and healed lesions. Medical experts considered that Mr. Graven's death was not traumatic in origin and was not related to the intervention of a third party. Graven may have suffered from heart problems and was undergoing medical treatment for his thyroid gland, the prosecutor added. There's a lot to unpack with this. Now, while his actual cause of death might not be directly related to all of the beatings and shit that he took from these fucking demons, I think it's inarguable that all of the stress and all of the torture that he endured probably was pretty bad for his already present medical conditions. I would make an argument, now of course I'm not a medical expert, that subjecting a human being with medical problems, as well as a couple of other things going on in the medical history, to the amount of beatings, strangulation, stress, consumption of dangerous chemicals, the sleep deprivation, and doing your absolute best to ensure perpetual misery of that individual probably exacerbates a lot of problems that could lead to their death. I would say that is something that most sensible people would agree with. I think if someone has underlying medical conditions, fundamentally torturing them is probably just going to make it worse. Even if the torture doesn't directly kill them, I would be shocked if anyone thinks that this means that those streamers' hands are clean. Like, oh, case closed. He didn't die from any of the trauma he experienced. Yeah, he had some bruises and all that, and yes, he was abused for so long, mistreated, and fundamentally tortured by these individuals, but his actual death, well, it looks like that was just of natural causes and had nothing to do with any of this innumerable amount of torture that we've bore witness to. Surely that was all just circumstantial, had nothing to do with any of that. They're blameless. These are just some saints here. These are angels, actually. These are just good friends of Raphael Graven who are clearly going to be mourning his loss just as much as everyone else. They did nothing wrong. It was just medical problems that they in no way was impacted by the abuse that he was subjected to for such an extended period of time from these individuals. I think all of the evidence that you can freely watch of all of the numerous, like, unfathomable mountain of clips of them just beating the shit out of him and literally like abusing him constantly, fundamentally torturing this man, would indicate that they definitely played a role in making his overall health worse. And we have the text messages from Raphael Graven to his mother that indicate how much stress he was under and how he felt like he was being held hostage by them, that he couldn't leave, and that he desperately wanted out. It was so bad with their abuse of this man that they actually had him on stream confirm that if he dies, it's not their fault. I had to translate this, but in a clip that's out there, they are saying, well, what happens if Jean Parmenov dies? They said, well, we're going to have to get him to say that it's not our fault if he dies. It's a result of his lifelong bad health, his bad decisions, his terrible way of living that led to his death if he dies. And he initially said no. He didn't want to say that. But they made him say that. They forced him to say that if he dies, it is not because of all of the abuse that they subject him to. Does that sound like the actions of an innocent party here? They knew that he was vulnerable. They knew that what they were doing could very well, end up with him dead, it seems. And then to try and cover their ass, they had him agree that if he dies, it's because of his own health problems. Which he initially declined to do. But they kept insisting that he clears them. It's fucking absurd to try and make the claim that all of these streams, the months worth of abuse, more than months, a long time of abuse they subjected Jean Parmenov to, had no role to play in his passing. It's craziness to try and make it seem like just because they didn't, fucking kill him on the spot on stream, that they had nothing to do with his death. Now, something I've seen popping up from some real fucking brain-dead morons here huffing stupid juice is that, well, he agreed to all of it, so it's his fault. Can't be mad at the streamers. If that isn't the biggest load of fucking barnacles I've ever heard. First of all, we know from the text messages he didn't want to do it. He wanted to leave, but felt he couldn't leave, that he was being held hostage there. They weren't letting him leave, was the impression he was giving to a text message sent to his mother. Also, from what I was reading, they would actually force him to do this, sometimes monetarily. They would financially pressure him to participate in their abuse and mistreatment. And from the very get-go, it feels like they manipulated a mentally vulnerable man who was looking for friends into being their guinea pig to just beat on stream for content, to make money off of it. They treated this guy like a human piñata, where they would hit him until money fell out from the deranged viewers that were watching and donating and all of that. There is nothing here that indicates that he was a willing participant for everything. Yes, he agreed to a certain level of extreme challenges, but clearly not all of it. Again, we have the text messages that he sent to his mother. It's clear he didn't want to do all of it. And it's clear on stream the amount of times he would say no to things, but they would still force him to eventually just succumb to it and agree. Also, from what I was reading, I'm not super familiar with the law in the region, but from what I read, you can't even legally consent to being tortured or anything like that in the first place. So even if he fully agreed to everything, it doesn't seem like you can legally even do that. You can't legally consent to fucking torture on yourself. It's just... This whole thing is indefensible in my eyes. Also, Naruto's a bitch. This loser brings shame to the entire Hidden Leaf village. He has ruined the Uzumaki name with this. He has filed a cyberbullying complaint amid the backlash to all of this. He has the gall to file a cyberbullying complaint about his feelings being hurt with people insulting him for all of the abuse that he subjected Jean Parmenov to. So he filed the complaint to the Paris prosecutor's office cyber hate division, targeting those who have harassed Naruto since JP's death. As he goes through a period of mourning, Naruto is the subject of a cyberbullying campaign. These behaviors, in addition to being immoral, constitute criminal offenses. A complaint will be filed in the coming days with the Paris prosecutor's office cyber hate division so that the perpetrators can be identified and prosecuted. You fucking vile worms. Imagine torturing a man for so long, so much mistreatment and abuse broadcast on stream so you could make money off of this man's misery. And now, when that man passes away, you are now trying to play the victim yourself, oh, you guys are hurting our feelings. How can you guys be mean to us? We've done nothing wrong. That was our best friend. Did you not read our heartfelt post where we called him, where Naruto called him his sidekick? Did you also not read the part in Naruto's apology that was so heartfelt where he said, please stop sharing the final moments? Oh man, what, did you miss all of that? Because the final moments make them look so bad because in the final moments he throws a fucking water bottle at JP's lifeless body on the floor and then goes and slaps it to see if he'll be responsive only to find out he's dead? Because for the entirety of that marathon stream they were just abusing this poor guy? What? Oh my god, did you miss all of that? It's so clear how much they loved their best friend, and you guys are being mean to them? That's crazy. Oh my god, what does the world come to? We need to identify and prosecute everyone who's left a nasty comment about Naruto and Safune. It's so fucking cringe. It's crazy. It is just craziness. This story has been so fucking gross, and I can only pray that they actually do face punishment here, because now I'm starting to worry that they won't. It looks like they might get away with it. I also learned that they'd actually been taken in by French authorities earlier this year about everything they were putting Jean Parmenov through on stream, but they were released the same day. And then it ultimately leads to what happened here, where they continue to do it because it looks like they're completely in the right legally over there in France, I guess, to continue mistreating this guy. So they go, continue to do it on stream, and it leads to a fucking tragedy with the passing of Jean Parmenov at 46 years old. This shit is so evil. Now again, all of this is happening in France, so a lot of the information that I get access to is through translations, so it is a little hard to keep up with everything, like, fully accurately, but I'm doing the best I can. It is just so sad. Like, this whole story of Raphael Gravin is just so sad, man. Like, it breaks my heart to see this kind of shit. Anyway, I just wanted to give you the update here. That's really about it. So yeah. Obviously, I'm a little greasy. No, I haven't showered yet. So what? Who cares? Have you showered yet? If you did and didn't use Cheeky soap, then it doesn't count. Cheeky is the best soap in the universe. I know I'm looking disheveled, but what are you? The Mighty Morphin Shower Rangers? I also haven't grown any taller. I'm still short. You want to make a big deal out of that too? Point is, yesterday was a pretty crazy day on Twitch. I think most of you have noticed over the last year or so, I've been very out of touch when it comes to internet creator drama. I haven't been keeping up like I used to, but occasionally I do still dip my toes in sporadically to see what's going on. And yesterday during stream, chat was telling me about two really big things that were happening. The first being a live-streamed birth on Twitch. The second being Hassan apparently using a shock collar on his dog on Twitch. Both of these sounded fucking nuts to me, so obviously I looked into them. And I know the Hassan dog stuff is what's blown up the most, but I actually want to start by blabbering about the live birth, because out of the two of these, this is the one I have the least to say with. The Hassan dog one, I'm be yapping. Well, let's start with the live birth, because apparently I've got a very hot take with this. The sentiment across the web, from what I can tell, is people are extremely positive about it, very supportive, and think that it was a wonderful thing. I don't necessarily have that perspective. I'll show you a brief snippet here of what the stream was like, with the baby being delivered in front of, like, allegedly, you know, tens of thousands of viewers. I'm seeing numbers that range from 30,000 to 100,000. I think people claiming 100,000 are including all the people that watch partied the birth. Now, I want to be clear, I'm very happy that everything went well with the delivery here. When it comes to home births, I've heard, like, horror stories and such about things that can go wrong and then not being able to get immediate care that a hospital offers. Like, there is just a lot of things that I've read about that can be, like, disastrous, and I'm super, super relieved that this was not one of those cases. It seems like everything went really smooth, everything went perfectly. A healthy baby was delivered, and I think that is all extraordinary. That being said, I really hate that there has been a complete deterioration of the value of privacy. It seems like people don't want privacy anymore. Like, there is no such thing as, like, a special moment anymore if you can't monetize it and publicly display it. Something like the birth of your child, to me, would be something that you would want with your closest family, your soulmate. You know, like, this would be something so personal that you wouldn't want just a bunch of strangers peeking in on. And of course, I'm not her. I am not the family. She can do whatever she wants, but I'm giving you my perspective here, that to me, this seems like a sign of the times where everything needs to be, like, content-brained, content-oriented. There's really no other reason to be live streaming the delivery of your child other than the obvious attention it's going to bring with it. And I don't know, to me that just feels so odd and so, I hate using this word, dystopian. That word is like actual fucking like acid leaving my mouth because it's lost so much meaning with how overly it's used, but this feels so dystopian to me. It turns something as sacred as life entering this world into a monetizable spectacle, an event that tons of people were watch partying like it was a fucking football game. So it's not just a baby that might need to be breastfed here. She actually went out and was breastfeeding the entirety of the Twitch ecosystem here with additional views for those streams that were watching and reacting to her giving birth. I just think that is so fucking sad that everything has to be content now. Before that baby can even have its first thought or open its eyes, it's already a piece of content. It's already in the social media chaotic swirl. It's already on camera. And to me, that's just crazy. But to a lot of people, it's not. Which I think is just kind of concerning that we've deteriorated so much that everything is like expected to be content now. I'm a viewer of this streamer. Why shouldn't I be allowed in the delivery room when she gives birth? In fact, that makes a lot of sense for me to be there, actually. I've watched her streams a lot. I don't know. I just don't like that. Again, I'm very happy that everything went super well here with the actual delivery of the baby and everything seems to be very healthy, and I think that's great. I just truly cannot agree with the sentiment that this is somehow like a positive thing, because I don't view it that way. Like, to me, this is very clearly content first, like content focused. And everyone can eat, so everyone gets a piece of content to watch this baby being born. I don't know. I don't really like that idea. It somewhat reminds me of a joke I told a while ago about a piece of content about how I should deliver a baby. Like how extreme that would be as like a banger video to deliver someone's baby. It's kind of like that joke, but unironically here. Like it actually happened. Well, of course, not to the level of like some completely unqualified goober like delivering a baby, but just like the act of a child being born into this world immediately becoming a piece of content. I just don't like that. Anyway, though, let's move on to the next subject. This is the one that is by far the biggest from yesterday, and probably one of just the biggest topics in general, which is Hassan and his dog.
But it is emblematic of all of America's much more consequential violence. Okay? It's the same reason as to why America, Kaya, please just fucking go, just stop. Jesus Christ, what are you doing? You're being such a baby. It's just, you're making her stressed. She just literally is so incredibly spoiled from my mom.
Now, for the life of me, like, I cannot understand what he's even upset about in the first place that he starts, like, scolding the dog for. She moved, like, an inch, like, slightly off of that. It's like in a video game, like in Metal Gear Solid, when someone gets, like, a fucking question mark over their head, they're, like, zipping to you immediately. Like, she doesn't do anything, really, other than move slightly. And he is noticeably upset. He is upset about that specifically. Even before this incident, earlier in the stream, he had already, gotten annoyed at her for moving around prior to this.
The absolute worst country on the planet, straight up, bar none, a capitalist shithole. Kaya, now is not the opportunity for you to... Down. The absolute worst fucking place on the planet. Just a horrific.
I think it's pretty clear that the dog moving off of that spot is what's making Hassan annoyed at her. Now, I saw he mentioned place training. Place is an actual dog training thing. And the whole idea behind it is designating a spot in a comfortable location for your pet. For a lot of people, I know it's like their office if they work from home. And Hassan was talking about how that area is her place. And for dog training, place is supposed to be like their happy spot where they are super safe and they feel super secure. And the way training goes with this, at least from everything I know about dog training, now keep in mind, when we first got Tetra, we did do dog training because my grandmother used to live with my parents and Tetra gets very excited to see people. It's the cutest thing in the world, but she loves to jump on people. And my grandma, living at my parents, when we'd go to visit, or if they came to visit, if Tetra would jump on her, it could cause injury. So we did do dog training in order to learn how to, like, help with that. We didn't do any, like, fear training or anything like that with shock collars or whatever, but place was something that we did learn about. And when it comes to place, you do not want to like make it something stressful for the animal, at least in our teachings. It's supposed to be a comforting spot for them, not like a stressful thing where they just go there and fucking like, you know, blue screen in the brain and just sit there idly comatose. And if they don't, they get punished. So he's calling this her place, but when she's moving from the place, he's scolding her. That's not what we were taught you're supposed to do when it comes to place training. That kind of defeats the purpose of it. I don't know why he would be getting so upset at that, like angry at the dog for moving from place. That really does kind of defeat the whole purpose of it. And then in that clip, it seems like he reaches for something. Like he looks off screen and he extends his arm to something, and then shortly thereafter, the dog yelps in pain, and Hassan turns around and calls her a baby, and then tries to reassure the chat that she is spoiled, and then goes on to say that she's spoiled because his mother lets her, you know, have free roam around the house. Now, he and the community are claiming that he didn't use a shock collar or anything, didn't like zap her, you know, fucking Palpatine lightning blast her or anything like that. She got her dew claw stuck on that spot, and that's what made her yelp in pain. I guess quick dog lore breakdown if you're not familiar with how those creatures function or anything. The dew claw is separate from like the paw pad area claws. The dew claw is a little higher up on the leg. And it's an old trait from back way in yesteryear when dogs needed that extra claw. It is just now an evolutionary leftover. It's still present, but it's not something that obviously gets utilized by dogs to the same degree it used to. It is a sensitive area. That is true. If you've ever cut your dog's nails, or if you've ever taken your dog to like a dog salon or something and they like gave your dog a nail trim, you probably noticed that when it comes to the dew claw, they're very, defensive on it, like cautious, because it is such a tender spot. I have watched this clip like fucking 10 or 15 times now. And today I had some friends come in from out of town, so obviously I've been out most of the day at the farm, and this was actually a conversational topic. It's become so big that it was brought up by them. And every single person, and pretty much everyone I've seen online outside of Hassan and Hassan's community, is all saying the same thing. That yes, it looks like the dog does like touch its leg to that spot on the bed, but it doesn't look like it gets caught or anything. So it feels very unlikely that that is what caused the dog to scream in pain. Like, I don't think that's what made Kaya, that's her name, yelp. It doesn't seem to get caught or snagged on anything, and dew claws aren't so sensitive and so tender that even touching them would cause like a panicked scream or anything. Unless she has an injury there, but I don't think Hassan has mentioned that, at least not that I've seen. So it feels to me very unlikely that that's what caused it, based on everything that we can see. Now, initially, even Hassan's community was starting to question, did he just shock Kaya? Did he just use a shock collar on stream? And the clip instantly started going viral, and he kind of downplayed it and shrugged it off as like, oh, a bunch of bad actors attacking me for some fucking phony baloney, barnacles here, unbelievable, this is all a load of fish paste. And instead of doing what I think most people, like not even just streamers, just normal people would do, of like showing, no, look, it's not a shock collar, obviously I didn't shock my dog, he instead just brushes it off saying, nope, it's not a shock collar, you're stupid for thinking that it is. And that's the attitude that his community had as well, like, oh, you must have psychosis if you think it's a shock collar. Which I think is a little odd because it's the easiest thing in the world to prove, right? You have all these people saying this shit, it's not true. Well, it takes like actually 3 seconds just to unclip that collar and just show like, hey guys, I don't want anyone to get the wrong idea here, this is not a shock collar, look, here's what it is, and then explain it. Like, I feel like even a non-streamer, like a complete normie, average Joe Schmo, if you went to their house and saw that happen, or like, hey, did you just shock that dog? They'd be like, oh my god, no, this is clearly a misunderstanding, no, that's not what happened. Like, I feel like most people would be very quick to show you and prove that it's not a shock collar because it's so quick and so easy to do. And the fact that he doesn't is odd. Like, it is very peculiar. Why wouldn't you in the moment? Like, that's such a natural thing to do, especially for what's easily a slam dunk. Like, you have all these people attacking you, you could easily just come out and fucking slam jam thank you ma'am on them by just being like, nope, it's not a shock collar, look, here you go, the proof is in the pudding, behold. Like, it'd be so quick, so simple, and it would be irrefutable. But That didn't happen yesterday. Instead, it was kind of brushed off as like, you've got to be fucking stupid to think that, Hassan would shock his dog on stream. And he just kind of propped it up as like, the only people that would believe this are like bad people in the first place, or like, grifters, this kind of thing. And I just find that to just be so disingenuous, because most people are going to see this and it looks like you shock your dog. Given how annoyed you are with the dog, and right before she yelps out in pain, you roll your eyes, you look at something off screen, you clearly are like, you are reaching off screen, that is very clear, and then the dog yelps while you were still annoyed, and then instead of doing like what I feel like most dog owners would do, would like check to see like, is everything alright? Why'd she just yelp in pain? Instead of doing that, calling her a baby and then mentioning how spoiled she is about roaming the house, like that doesn't compute. If this was her dew claw getting stuck there and then yelping in pain, you would have no idea why she's yelping. Why is your first instinct to call her a baby and then mention how spoiled she is about, your mom letting her roam the house? The response to it just doesn't really seem to make sense if what happened is her dew claw getting stuck there. I just don't see why he would respond that way, like so aggressive about it. It just doesn't really make sense. Now, a bunch of super sleuths were diving in, like really analyzing frame by frame. Apparently, Hassan has mentioned that she does have like an AirTag on her collar. People also saw like a doohickey underneath the AirTag right before the moment where she yelps, where there's like a green blinking gadget there, a little fucking gizmo. And people were speculating that's probably the shock collar. And now today, Hassan went on stream to show the collar and explain what it is that everyone saw.
This is the one that people are talking about. Okay, this is the one. This is the one that they saw. It has the capacity to vibrate, and that's it. Are you happy? That's it. Good. There's the AirTag. There's the fucking vibrator. It also has a flashlight component to it at nighttime, and it also has a tracker on it when she gets lost. If she were to actually get fucking lost.
So on stream, he was showing that the unit everyone saw is something that can only vibrate, it can't shock. It also has like other things like a flashlight and stuff. And then he went on to explain like why he has a vibrator there for the sake of like training and that kind of thing. Now, since this was a day later, obviously people are going to be wondering, is this real? Like, is he telling the truth? Like, you could have swapped it out. You could have changed out the previous model with one that doesn't have shocking capabilities. Because there are vibrate-only units, and there are some that have vibrate and shock. Something he also mentions that those kind of things do exist. But since this was so far after the fact, people are always going to wonder, well, did he just switch it out? And something else that spawned from this is, it looks like there's tape on it. So when you watch it, and you like pay attention to the actual unit, it looks like there is just some black tape on it. And a bunch of people online started to try and find out what brand this is, because I don't know if I missed it and everyone else missed it, but I don't think he mentioned what model this is, like what brand or what model, anything like that. So people don't know what it is, they're just going to have to like take his word for it that this is a vibrate-only unit, and since there's no visible prongs, you're led to believe that it can't shock or anything. However, there are shock collars that have detachable prongs. In fact, the shock collars we use on Skill Check channel when we play Magic the Gathering and make a misplay and we shock ourselves, you can take the prongs off of those. I think that's a pretty standard feature in a lot of shock collars, I think. So, like, you can just take the prongs off. And when you increase the brightness here, it does seem like there's definitely tape. I've seen this picture floated around a lot, and people believe that they have narrowed it down to a model called the Educator ET400, which seems to match it visually 1-to-1 in all aspects except for the bottom side there, where on the ET400 there are 2 prongs there, but you can take those prongs off from what I can tell, at least online, and in the Hassan clip, there's a bunch of tape there, which potentially would be there to cover up the holes. I don't really know what else there would be tape there for. I don't really get that. Like, it doesn't make a ton of sense. But of course, I have no way of knowing 100% beyond a shadow of a doubt that Hassan shocked Kaya on that stream or anything like that. But based on the old eyeball test, the old smell test, what you can literally see, he is annoyed with Kaya. He expressed it a couple of times, scolded her. He rolls his eyes. He does reach for something off screen, And as he is reaching, it seems like when he finally gets to something, she yelps in pain, and then there's no real, like, concern from him, and instead talks about why she's, like, a spoiled baby. I don't see anything that she could have, like, hurt herself on. It doesn't seem like her dew claw or anything gets tangled up in the bed. So, to me, it feels like it is something he did. Even if it's not a full-blown shock, he didn't get her with, like, a Dungeons & Dragons lightning bolt or anything like that. If it is a vibrate-only unit, I feel like he definitely did press the vibrate in that instance there. I see nothing else that would cause that yelp here from everything that we can clearly see. And if that is the case, and that, to me, that's what it seems like the case is, that's super fucked up. She didn't do anything wrong. I don't think there's anything to warrant him being upset in the first place. And to be upset enough to press a, like, correctional button on that device is so beyond fucked. There was no bad behavior or any kind of correction or punishment needed to be doled out there. All she did was move on the bed slightly, like slightly move off the bed. I think it's super fucked up. But if this is all wrong, it's all a bunch of hooey, and Hassan didn't shock or vibrate or do anything at all here to cause Kaya to yelp in pain, I think A, it would have been very easy to immediately in the moment prove that by just showing the collar, which, again, I feel like is the most logical thing most people would have thought to do. But also, B, I still think all of his, like, anger and, like, annoyance at the dog for moving around off her place is just fucking weird, too. And then, of course, people were mentioning how Kaya's on stream 8 to 10 hours a day, and then just all of a sudden, randomly, he decides to shock her today. Yeah, great story you've got there, Buster. Really shows how stupid everyone's become. Everyone's really fucking dumb to believe in something like this. All just because he hasn't in the past on stream. And then, of course, people take it a step further, saying none of his friends have ever called him out for using a shock collar, thus this has to be a load of, fucking horseradish. I think this is a very weak argument. Because I know if Hassan does use a shock collar, he would never let any of his friends see that. Because he would know that they would call him out for it and give him shit for it, especially someone like Maya. So they just wouldn't know. Thus, they wouldn't be able to call him out on it or anything like that. And this whole idea of making an assumption based on things that are outside of what is clearly visible here, I think is useless. Just because you haven't seen it in the past on stream doesn't mean it's not something he's done before, or it is very possible this was the first time. That's also very true too. What are his shock collars used for? Training. And what is he currently doing with Kaya, at least based on what I've heard him talk about? Training her, or at least expanding the training on place. So maybe he decided that this might be a good tool to use for the first time. That's also entirely possible. It's not some like far-fetched crazy conspiracies that only haters are drumming up and, falling in line with. It's a very plausible thing based on what is clearly visible in the clips. Anyway, just wanted to blabber about this a bit. I know I've been very out of touch with internet creator drama. I plan to keep it that way. But occasionally, can't help but poke around in a couple of the things going on out there, and yesterday was just a crazy one that I just needed to yap on a bit. That's really about it. So, yeah.